Alright, what's up everybody? It's Triple B. Texas doing voiceover. I know I normally don't do this, but I had to throw this together. I found our old memory card and some footage. So this here is going to be of storing dry goods. And I've got bags of beans and rice and some 5-gallon buckets. You'll also need some Mylar bags. I'll show some of that here in a short bit. These here are made in the USA, and they're the typical 5-gallon buckets made by United Solutions, and they are safe for food, or also known as food grade. So we've got 5 lined up here. Do a quick transfer. Here are the oxygen absorbers that I bought. Um, I'm checking the tab there. The tab is pink. That means that there is no oxygen inside of those bags. They're still sealed and still good. And this is just kind of showing what to expect. If you guys have never purchased this before or never done this, it usually gives you a pretty good idea on the description, whether you're doing, you know, Amazon, Etsy, or whatever. This here's a mason jar made by Ball, and this is their vintage collection. Check the rim and make sure that there are no cracks, no dings. Make sure that the seal on the inside of the lid is good as well. You'll be needing that shortly. And you'll be putting these oxygen absorbers inside of this mason jar for what you have left over. All right, first step is get everything lined up like you want it. Open your bags and double check all of your Mylar. Make sure there are no tears. Make sure that if there are any creases in these bags, like these here, the way they shipped them to us, I didn't care for it. Normally they're rolled up or put in a different way. Make sure your oxygen absorbers are removed. Make sure everything's good there. Again, you can check with that tattletale. Make sure it's pink. You'll want to make sure your arms and everything else is clean. Make sure you wash your hands and everything. Open your bag up all the way. Stuff them down into the very bottom of your bucket. The corners usually make it a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. But if you work with it a little bit, you can use this option here, which is with a chair. I put a chair up here just to show that you don't have to bend down and work on that. You can bring it up to your level, put it on a chair or table. The chair usually works best for me, and everybody else that I've shown seems to like that as well. So just make sure that when you're stuffing it in there, you're not exactly too rough. You don't tear anything, of course. You want to make sure that the bag remains sealed. And see, I'm just kind of rubbing the outside there, just making sure that everything is sealed up. And this is going to be stored for long term. So the less damage the bags take, the better off they are. And the reason for putting them in these bags, of course, is to make them rodent proof, not to take the oxygen out. That's the job of the bags. The job of the buckets are to keep the bugs and rodents from tearing through the bags. So I'm going through the rest of these here. I'm going to bag up all these other buckets, and we can skip through this part, I believe. Now, I got a clean knife. Go ahead and cut open your bag. I recommend large bags of beans. You don't have to do this. I like very large bags of beans and rice. It's just easier for me. It makes more sense, cost effective. All the uh, all the positives that come with that. So I'm just making sure the bag wasn't seated all the way. The weight of the rice will push it down, but I went ahead and just go ahead and adjust that corner for me real fast. And I'm shaking the rice out of this corner of this bag here because I don't have too big of a cut on it. It looks like I did, but with the weight of that rice trying to come out of that small opening, it actually gums up pretty easy. So you'll want to do that shaking motion. You get this out of the way so you can see better. Again, you'll want to shuffle it, shake it, and pound it. Not all that hard, but slam it on the floor a little bit, and then you'll get the rice to settle completely, and then you can continue to pour the other half. I found that generally a 50-pound bag is enough for two 5-gallon buckets. Each 5-gallon bucket holds a roughly 25 pounds of beans or rice. Generally speaking, of course. Now, every bucket is a little bit different. Some are 5 gallons tall, some are 5 gallons, they're slightly shorter but wider. Some bags, these say they're 5-gallon bags, but these are clearly for 6 gallons. Uh, so it just depends on what you're getting here. So I'm checking the depth here, and I'm also explaining to Cherry, she's never done this before. I'm showing her how it is that this is going to be folded up. We'll put the lid on and make sure there's a small gap. So we'll continue to put the rest of the bag into this other bucket here. And you don't want to overfill these because then your lid will not shut. And you need to leave a small gap for those excess pieces, or piece I should say, the flap, to fold over on top of itself without damaging the seals. So we're going to go ahead and fill up the rest of the buckets here. And this is all super easy to do. I went ahead and marked them all up, have the product, what it is, and when it was packaged. Now we're going to go ahead and start sealing it up. Now we're not going to seal the entire thing. We're going to start in the center. Trust me when I'm telling you, this will help out. You'll want to make sure that you'll want to line up the bag itself by pulling it tight. You'll want to go ahead and seal up the center. This will help keep it from folding over on itself. And I'm showing her the depth of which it's labeled as best. There's different sources, but the one that I'm using says leave at least a 1 to 2 inch heated seal. Now, some people do more than that. I couldn't tell you 100% what is the most accurate way, but I'm just kind of showing her more or less that once you heat this up, I'm explaining how it works, that once you heat this up with your curling iron or even a regular clothes iron, that the glue sticks to itself, and that's what seals it up. Now we're going to go ahead and pop open the oxygen absorbers. I know for a fact that I don't need all of them, so I'm going to go ahead and stuff some into this mason jar, and Cherry's going to help me with that as well. This is not only stuff that I need to uh, get done in a timely manner, because once you pop that bag open, they begin to activate. Now, they don't activate immediately, but they do activate relatively quick. So you want to make sure that you're quick to get these in the bags and you're quick to get them sealed off, because the less amount of time they spend in the open air, the better it is and the more useful they'll be down the road. So these are 2000 cc oxygen absorbers, and I'm putting them in with the rice here. So I will only need one per 5-gallon bucket, and the rest will be put in that jar. And I'm gonna go ahead and take out the tattletale. That little tattletale there, again, it tells you how much oxygen has been exposed to that. It kind of gives you a general idea, just a rule of thumb, nothing 100%, but it gives you a good idea as to how much oxygen has been absorbed to those uh, packages there. So those oxygen absorbers will take out all the oxygen from these bags. You will still have atmosphere. When I say you have air inside of the bags, you will still sometimes have air without oxygen. Deoxygenated air, if I can say that correctly here.